Mhm. Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Froggy Stonks. Not that I say it's financial advice. We are going to be doing a Twitter space call, talking about computer share again. Just some basic details and a theory I have. I'm pretty excited about it. Just waiting for the room to fill up, and we'll get started. Hey, what's up, everybody? Just waiting for the room to fill up. If you guys could, please tweet out the call. Try to get more people in here. We're going to talk about my theory on DRS. Then we'll take general questions on DRS. Because I know people are still having trouble figuring out how to properly log their account, get their account started, get shares in there, buy shares, transfer shares, all that. So figure out my microphone up here. Open room too, so if anybody wants to come up and ask a question, whatnot, we're not going to get off topic. Not going to allow anybody to talk about anybody else. If you start talking about other people, I'll immediately drop you from speaking. Talking about topics, not people. Terrible. Entered the chat. Here, I sent you a co-host invite, or if you just want to speak, that's fine too. Whatever you choose. Again, for everybody entering, please tweet out the call. We're gonna do a little computer share DRS backdrop, and then take some questions on it and talk about a theory. What's up, Sarah?
Hey, I have a really bad signal where I'm at, so hopefully you can hear me okay. I just wanted to come in. I'll share out the space and say hi. And I'm glad you're here, Spence.
Thanks. You too. Good to be alive.
Yeah, after those 2 bottles of wine.
Yep.
I'm gonna edit your title really fast and just put AMC at the beginning. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. You know me in titles.
Share it. Yeah, people share out the space. People see that it's an AMC related space.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you. So just to open up for the people on YouTube, hello, Vanilla Gorilla. I've got computer share pulled up on my PC right now, and I'm going to try to dictate it to people in Twitter as good as I can. If you are going to be a first-time buyer on computer share, this is what you do. You go to the main page, computershare.com/US. You go to login to Investor Center. You'll go to your next page, and you're not going to click login again. This is the tricky part that I'm trying to get computer share to change. Don't register now and don't log in. In the bottom left corner, there's a little chart with an up arrow, and it says make a stock purchase, direct link to purchase shares. You click that. And then on the next page, in the search bar, you type the stock you want. So I'm going to type AMC. Going to bring up AMC. Click the icon. And then it brings you into the cost fees. For minimum investments, which means the minimum dollar value that they allow you to buy for a one-time purchase for new shareholders, it's $25. That's the minimum they allow you to buy. If it's a recurring stock purchase for a new holder, it's $10 is the minimum. Existing for both, if you're an existing holder if you already have a computer share account and already have AMC, one time or recurring is a minimum buy of $10. So that means if you cannot buy $10 worth of AMC, you're going to have to buy the 13, the price of the stock, right? Which they won't let you make any purchases under $10. It's got to be above. Now the fees for that to make your purchase, online investment fees, it's just like an old broker commission. One-time investment fee of $5. If it's a recurring fee, they charge you $250. That's what they charge you for your trade to process. And that's basically what they used to do before payment for order flow on the other brokers. So per share processing is 5 cents, or it's the 5% max $5, right? So the minimum required that you have to buy has to be over $25 for your first time. So you go to invest now, which is the button down in the right hand corner under all the money stuff that we were talking about. You click, if you're new and you want to do it one time, you click one time. You put your minimum purchase in of over $25. I'm going to click 50. Hit next. And then it's going to bring you up to the part where you fill out your information to start your account. When you're done with that and you click next and you click purchase after putting in all your name and address and banking information, it's going to process it. And then within 5 days, they're going to be sending you emails and text messages like crazy. 5 days later, they're going to send you a link to verify your account, and then you can log in and see your shares. If you're a first time doing this and you're just transferring to ComputerShare from, say, Fidelity, you call Fidelity, tell them you want to transfer X many shares to ComputerShare to direct register them. They process that for you. ComputerShare will automatically set up your account based on the broker information that Fidelity gives to them. Then they will contact you for your availability to log in. So the trouble people are having is when they first start this, they go to computershare.com, they click on it, and they think the first thing they have to do is log in and register an account. That's not what you do. Just like I said, log into Investor Center, bottom left corner, make a stock purchase. Not try to register or log in if you haven't done that yet. That's basically how you get set up on that. So, how's it going, PJ, Mike, Sugar, Leo, Diva? How's it going, Diva? So I'm going to get into my theory now. Real quick, if everybody could share out the room, I would appreciate it. That way everybody can see it out in the Twitter space. Much appreciation. So my theory, running theory now on ComputerShare, and this has not been proven yet, but I think the more data I get, I'm going to be able to show this. When you DRS, say, one AMC share to ComputerShare, it takes it out of street name, which means your broker basically owns it. They just tell you that you have it, and puts it in book name. That means your share is now held by ComputerShare in book name under your name, direct registered, and AMC sees that. When they host their annual meetings and their annual meetings and earnings calls, Adam Aaron's going to get a binder from them, right? That tells them every single person that owns shares, their names and their phone numbers, right? That can all be seen if you go to the annual meeting. You can look through that book. It should be available as long as there's a quorum. So what's really cool is when you do this, you log one share in ComputerShare of AMC, direct registered. That share can now not be lent out and shorted. So my theory is these brokers have been loaning out our shares, even Fidelity, because we saw they did it with GameStop, even though they said they weren't. They're loaning out these shares to be shorted, but they're doing it multiple times from brokers like Robinhood. And I'm personally believe the push that we made for DRS this past couple months has been extremely effective. Also, the GME crowd too, they've got over 13 million shares registered, and the cost to borrow and the short interest has consistently gone up. That is because we are undiluting the amount of shares that are out on the market. Because every time you DRS one share that can't be shorted, that is one share that can't be loaned out and shorted that may have been loaned out 3 or 4 times. That's where we're seeing our reversal. That's where we're seeing our cost to borrow go up. And that's where we're seeing now that there's no shares out available to be loaned. So if my theory is correct, it'll be interesting to see the data that's coming out in the next earnings call, because they've been putting ComputerShare direct registration data in the official AMC document releases, which last one I read, I think the 2022 annual, said that there was over 49.8 thousand AMC shareholders direct registered. So if that number increases, it's going to give me a new data point. What's up, Kelsey? Did you have a question or something?
Hey, how you doing? First of all, I just want to say my theory is I see where you're coming from when you say that the GameStop they have million shares DRS and stuff. But my thing is I feel like the AMC float is already so many shares, and I'm not saying DRS would hurt, but I'm talking about I'm thinking there has to be like billions of synthetics. So even if we lock up the float, they're playing with synthetics already, and they're just going to keep copying them, be shorting them. Well, if that makes sense.
Here's the thing. I don't think they can create synthetics without owning the actual share first. I think what they're doing is they're cloning shares from brokers that are being lent out over and over and over again. That's where we get our FTD data. Now, the more shares of AMC that have been DRS'd over these past 2 months, we've seen cost to borrow go up, right?
Yeah.
So that's.
But here's the thing: the cost to borrow of AMC is already close to games. I mean, it was close to GameStop, and we haven't DRS nearly as many shares.
We're nowhere near GameStop.
I thought the cost to borrow was almost like 29% the other day.
I think it was 28%. I think GameStop's is way higher than that last I checked.
GameStop was 33.
Let me check real quick because I thought it was up close to 100. Let's see. I thought it was way more than that.
No, the other day it was. But they were definitely in the 30s. The last time
are you talking minimum or? Okay, that's from iBorrowDesk. If you go to Ortex, the data is way different than that. But
are you talking about the average or the max cost?
Either way, here's the thing, man. Either way, the cost to borrow on GameStop and AMC has been consistently going up. Which to me, this is the theory. If we're taking shares off the market, every one share that we direct register is taken off the market. They can't short that no more. So the people who are, hold on a minute.
I know it sounds that simple. You just say it like that because I've been, obviously.
All right. Yeah, I'm not going to be consistently interrupted when I'm trying to explain something. Sorry. Thanks for coming up, man, but we're not doing that. The cost to borrow has consistently went up as we've been DRSing shares, which has been a harder push more here coming up into this movement for the past 2 months. And the theory behind that is if the people loaning AMC shares have left less of a pool to loan out, say your broker, they're making less money now. So they have to increase the cost to borrow on the shares they do loan to make up for the loss in volume. So that's my theory on it. If going forward from here for the call, if you guys want to come up and speak, feel free. If you have a question, ask it. But I'm not here to debate the theory I'm having because I just said that I haven't proved it yet. I need more data. So I'm not gonna do that tonight. But we've seen GameStop do this, and it's been extremely successful. There was even an article put out by News. I think it was Info News or something, or the Wall Street Beat or something, talking about GameStop trying to lock up the float. And the most interesting thing about that is we've seen examples of companies where the float's been locked up and they've squeezed insanely hard. I got some questions on YouTube here. Let me bring them up. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Vanilla Gorilla. Dr. Strange, Dr. Strange, Dr. Strange, Dr. Strange. We all know where that came from. Hayden J. Real Estate. It will give Adam Aaron proof. Yes, if we log the float, or even less, I think 3/4 of the float, and the volume out on the open market is still being traded more than shares are available, then we know there's synthetics out there. It's that simple. If Adam Aaron has proof, and he didn't go out and I guess say get it himself, if it's landed on his desk, then they can't come after him for trying to say that he's trying to squeeze the stock out. And in reality, neither are we. We're just trying to protect our company and our investment by using our individual rights to direct register if you choose to do so. So possibly every share that you DRS of AMC, you may be taking out 6 counterfeit shares off the market. That's my theory, man. I talked with a couple people about it last night, and they made some really good points. They said it seems like more and more people have been direct registering because the FUD and fear And doubt has been dispelled greatly in the past few weeks with this group and of course Froggy Styles group. Man, he's been doing a really good job on that. And come to find out, Computer Share isn't some back alley broker or who's Computer Share? What are they? People were terrified of it, and it's very simply this. It's very simply putting your shares in your name. If you own shares with Fidelity right now, they're in Fidelity's name. They can do whatever they want with them. They say that they don't loan shares out, but GameStop found out they did, and that was a really big deal. So theoretically, this is how it works. If there's 1 million investors, and we know we have 4 million, 1 million investors DRSing 375 shares each would more than log enough of the float for us to identify any synthetics. And this is the backside to it. This is it. If this happens and all these individual investors decide to do it on their own, and we do log the float, and they find no synthetics, then at least we know what's going on. We have proof of the there. So, in my opinion, no chance in the world that there's no synthetics. I believe there's billions out there. And I think every time we direct register a share, we take 2 to 3 off the market. And I think going forward from here, it's going to get tighter and tighter and tighter, and you're going to see the price of AMC increase and the cost to borrow increase. So, anybody have any questions or comments? Feel free to come up. Got quite a few people in the call. TJ's just sitting over there being quiet. I'm not going to let her do that. Sugar, too. I haven't heard Shay talk in a while either. So, let's see here. Since May 13th, right? This is about when we started talking about Computer Share again, because I had finally figured out enough information personally to go forward with it, because the community was so against it for the longest time. And thanks to Swing Trader Mars for educating me on it. He's very, very knowledgeable about this. Since May 13th, we have seen consistent price action in AMC going up, up, and up. At one point, we hit $16, but we're seeing higher lows consistency now. And it's following a reversal trend coming back up out of the crash we had from the day it ran to $34 on March 31st, which I think was shorts covering because of the Melvin collapse. What's up, Sugar? How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm just living the dream, brother.
Yeah.
I made me $1,000 today,
Oh, good for you. Good for you, brother.
Yeah, I've been really doing really good on that day trading. I stopped focusing on all that, all the drama. There was a time when I was doing really good, but then I got sucked into all that, unfortunately. But I left that, and I just keep my focus on making money and taking care of the family, man.
You day traded Revlon, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't want people coming in here thinking you're day trading AMC. They'll try to assassinate you.
No, I can't, dude. I bought that at $49. Come on. My cost is I'm down a lot of money on that. Yeah. So, but I have to make money on the side on whatever I can.
Well, when you win, make sure you treat yourself to something nice, okay?
Oh yeah, but I owe you guys for this one. You and Froggy both. When you Froggy told you guys were talking, I started looking at it, and sure enough, I waited for it to come down, and then I just I thought, man, today looks like a good day, and I've been doing really good on day trading, just listening to you guys and doing, looking at tickers, and it's been good, man. It's been, when you focus on your goals, and turn off the noise and drama, you really do good with your life.
Good for you, man. I see Swing popped up here. What's up, Swinger? How you doing, man? He's probably busy right now.
Hey, Spence, I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead, Ascal. Thanks.
So, get it with DRS. I'm buying into it. I totally agree with you on the fact that it's forcing that share to basically be pulled forward and counted. Because there are a lot of shares out there that are still under it as an IOU coming from your brokerage, right? They're still looking to fulfill your buy. The shares aren't there, so this forces that. What about comes time to sell?
With what?
Is
With
there a process for that, or is it just as simple as sell?
with DRS?
Yeah.
So you log in and you go in and you place your sell order and it processes through the DRS system, right? And obviously it takes a little longer than just selling, you know, you're on your broker and you sell if it starts squeezing, if they even allow you to sell. But with DRS, you know 100% that you have a true certified share of AMC in your name that you can go in and click the sell button on.
Okay, but so what, and that there, I agree with you on that. Is that been fulfilled? It's been accounted for.
Mhm.
But to sell from DRS, are they counted as just another brokerage?
No, Computer Share is not a brokerage. It's a transfer agent and a registrar. And what they do is they have brokerages they work with that they put the batch orders through to. So when you go to sell and everybody else is selling, they're going to put it all in one batch and they're going to process it within the day, right? So your time,
Okay.
your exact sale time is going to be a little different than what you would do instantly with a broker, but you're still getting processed same day. And
So do you feel that there's going to be a delay in that?
Not necessarily. Here's the thing though. You know, when you go to sell whatever price you sell at, you might sell too early, you might sell too late. There's no way to identify that. So you're
Sure.
not really missing out on anything because if you sell with Computer Share, you know, Swing can answer this perfectly. I'll just let him go. What's up, Swing? Or were you just raising your hand to jump in?
No, happy to share. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, what I was going to say is, I mean, from the very beginning, I think a lot of the DD that I agree with say that not using market or limit sales is when you're selling a squeeze scenario. And given that, you can set limit orders with Computer Share, at least the way that I'm thinking about setting it up. And for me, and obviously do your own research, do your own thing, is have maybe 5% of my shares I sell at X price, and another 5% sell at X plus 20, or that type of process where you're selling a little bit at a time. So forward, and only limitation that I don't like, but I mean every broker has certain limitations on how long your limit cells can be placed for. On Computer Share, it's 30 days. So what I'm doing is I'm doing that process where I'm having my bids here and there. I'm going through and saying, okay, I'm set up some of them today, then I'll set up some of them tomorrow, some of them the next day. That way, rolling, I always have some that are 30 days out. That's something that you kind of have to stay a little bit on top of, because it's only good for 30 days. But by rolling it, you always have some that you have a little bit of active. It kind of gets you in the habit of keeping an eye on it and doing it. And when you do a limit sell, it's going to sell the moment that your limit is hit. So it's not a batch situation. That's a batch situation. Then they do that market order at multiple times a day, but together with other people that might be selling at that time.
Yep, exactly. So the way they explained it to me is they process multiple batch orders daily at certain times. So you're getting same day, right? You're going to get the price action, at least you're going to get the price action that you're looking for with it. But here's the thing, having multiple platforms with your shares on it is a safe thing anyways, because if say you have shares on Webull.
Still there, Spencer, did I lose? Drop everybody.
Can anybody else hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
now we can.
Okay. So if you're on Webull or Fidelity in the market, this explodes and AMC is going to $100,000 or whatever. and those brokers decide to mess with you again by taking away the sell button or the buy button or whatever they're going to do, which the CEO of Apex Clearing said to Congress, yes, this is going to happen again, and it already has with Redbox. You're going to have computer share that cannot be messed with and is not going to be overloaded with order data because they're doing those batch sells. Because they're concentrating all these different trades into those batches. And like Swing said, if you don't want to do the batch order, you can do the limit sells. So there's still mobility there. I personally think my shares are safer there than anywhere else. And again, the whole point is to take shares away from these brokers who are absolutely 100% corrupted by the payment for order flow buyouts. They're just loaning everybody's shares out whether they say they are or not. And it's just wild, man. Does that answer your questions? Did we get it good enough for you?
No, you did. I appreciate that. And of course, you know, swing traders, exactly right. I'll have to do our own due diligence. But I think a lot of my questions have been answered as far as the transfer over to your share.
Cool.
Or DRS, my shares, and then for the sell point. So I appreciate it. Thanks, Spence.
Is that a gold nugget in your profile photo up there?
Yeah. So I own 4 gold claims up in the Sierras. About an hour drive, actually away from HYMC. So I think I DM'd you the other day saying that was that's the raw form. That's the real deal there.
Make sure you come into the next Highcroft call, man. People would love to hear that.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, my geologist I use for my properties had actually worked over on the HYMC property before they bought it years ago. So he said it's a great property. A lot of gold. The leaching process is about the only way to make it profitable. So it's a good area.
Right on. Thanks. That's cool, man. That's really cool to hear. What's up, Swing?
Hey, I just want to share with everybody that hasn't done so. I highly recommend taking Dr. Susan Trimbath's book, Short and Greedy. It's a great read. She used to work at the clearing, so she knows the back end, how all this stuff works. And reading that book or listening to it, it's now, I believe it's available on Audible now.
Doc, can you say the name again? Dr.
Suzanne Trimbath. Make it short, and it's a good listen, good, and it's your eyes to how the national clearing system works, and the fact that basically all the brokers share shares when someone's short. It's basically at the end of the day when someone doesn't have enough shares to do a transaction and to try to settle an FTD, someone goes over to their next door neighbor and says, "Hey, do you have a reasonable loan rate?" And they say yes, and then they say okay, and that they basically settle FTDs with FTDs. It's kind of the crazy way to put it. So,
CDO of a CDO, right? Yeah, I'm looking at the book right now. One of them is Naked, Short, and Greed. Naked, Short, and Greedy. By Wall Street's Failure to Deliver by Dr. Suzanne Trimbath. I'm going to definitely read that tonight, man. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, she's done a lot of work. She's actually helped create some of the clearing systems in other countries because of her expertise in settlement and clearing. And she's in some of the shows like the Wall Street Conspiracy and some of the early documentaries that have talked about the naked shorting and that type of stuff. So it's a good read. Everybody should take a look at it. It'll, if you're on the fence or don't feel like you understand the DRS system, I think that book will clear up kind of the back end of why it's important. the only way to make sure that you actually own a share. Anything else, and basically the process to think about it, there's all these shares floating around, and those shares can be created by synthetics, by people doing very put conversions and complex systems like that, where the shares just get created, or it's created naked from the market makers themselves. And something that I did pick up yesterday on the call from what's the farmer bro guy? I can't think of his name right now, but anyway, something I picked up from him that was interesting to me was that any high frequency trading firm is considered a market maker. I thought that there was only like a handful of market makers, like the Susquehanna and the Citadel and Virtu and that type of thing. But given that any firm that's a high frequency trader is given the designation of a market maker, they all have the market maker rights to short. They all do. So, there's probably there's 50 firms out there that actually have licensed to print shares, basically. When it comes down to it. When you think about it in that term, it makes complete sense that there might be 1 billion shares or 2 billion shares of AMC out there, and who knows how many millions and billions of shares of GME out there. And the only way that gets cleared up is by taking those shares, giving them to the direct registrar, and having them tally up. Every single person that tallies one up, that one from the DTC ledger, and gives it to the individual. And eventually, all of them will be gone, or the majority of them will be gone. And then the DTC will be like, well, how do we find more shares that can be borrowed or be used through the national settlement system? It's gonna be harder and harder and harder for them to be able to do that. So that's my 2 cents on my understanding of the process. And like I said, take a look at that book. And Suzanne Turnbull does have other books. That's the only one that I've had the chance to read as of yet, but I do plan on looking into some of her other works as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm gonna buy the hard copy back. I'm not big on digital reading. It hurts my eyes. I like having hard copies, but I do have a YouTube video pulled up that I found insanely good. This has already all been done and talked about. That's what's killing me with a lot of the AMC folks, is this DD is already done. It's already been defudded and everything. And the GME crowd is nailing it. And I noticed more and more GME people have been coming in the rooms and talking about it. And I appreciate that very, very much. But Super Stonk did a computer share AMA with Paul Kahn, President Global Capital Markets of Computer Share, back in November of 2021, right? You can go to YouTube, type in Super Stonk's Computer Share, and he does every single question that we're asking and answering now directly with the president of Global Capital Markets of Computer Share. He did a phenomenal job on that. It's an insanely good video. So I highly recommend everybody go watch that tonight if you have nothing to do. I'm going to repost it on Twitter and post it in the nest. It's just crazy. I'm not telling anybody to do anything. I'm not calling anybody we or I. I'm just saying this is a tool in front of the entire community that everybody can choose to use on an individual basis. As an individual investor, to protect your shares from being lent out. It's crazy at this point in time that we're still circling and fighting over old FUD that's been disproven multiple times already. And I'm glad everybody's finally coming together on this. It seems the closer we get to it, the more attack I come under in the community. It has increased it like to a level that I don't even know. And I hate to say this, but I think some people are not wanting this to end because they're making it off of the backs of the community the longer this goes. But we need to discover what is going on here. I do not want to see AMC get torn apart again a year from now because the naked shorting is draining the liquidity back out of the company that we put into it. I don't want to see that anymore. It's been over 12 months. We all did what we were told. I personally believe my stance now is to get more aggressive with it. One of which that I favor the most, that I think the true catalyst is going to end up being, is people computer share and DRSing their shares, because the shorts are not going to have anything to use with every share that we DRS more and more. And Adam Aaron has been putting out specific data on this the entire time. The entire time. So I'm going to post this real quick and then I'll share it up in the nest. But if anybody has any questions or comments, we'll go through that process. Now, I'm not going to host the call like all night long. So just feel free to request and I'll bring you up. You can come up and disagree with me. That's fine. But I've already said my theory and what it is, and I'm not gonna debate with anyone over it. So if you disagree, come up, tell me you disagree, and I'll thank you for it. And then if not, then come up and say what you will.
Hey Spence, just to play devil's advocate, I want to share the only reason why, and this is why I think some of the YouTubers are against the concept of it. The main reason that someone would be against it is if they're playing options against their position.
Yep.
Like if they're doing a wheel strategy or they're doing covered calls. Don't believe in that. Or don't have the knowledge to do it or don't want to do it, then and you're just quote unquote buy and holding. Like that's the part that I think is insane, is that, you know, this concept came up really early on last summer during the quote unquote buy and hold only days. I tried to get the ball.
That's all right, man. I know you got a full house, man.
Yeah, I got the try to get the ball rolling at that point. I mean, if you're only buying and holding, not doing any options work on the shares, then why not hold it with the company? Because that's essentially what you're doing. You're holding them with AMC.
Yeah.
AMC in it itself doesn't hold it because they hire a company to do it because that's what they're trained to do. That's what they do with 30% of the S&P 500.
Yep. And in my opinion, doing direct registration is like the ultimate form of diamond handing, because you actually own your share in your name on the company book and nobody can dispute that. And I just don't understand what the fear is over it, because it's all perfectly accessible information that anybody can Google at this point. Or again, I posted just above the link to the Super Stonks video where he explains all this with Paul Kahn himself. And they specifically talk about the GameStop crowd and how ComputerShare is changing their systems to accommodate interested parties like the GameStop crowd. So, Stacks, what's up, man? You got anything? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Spence? How you doing?
Good.
I just wanted to say, Robinhood's no longer allowing you to DRS your shares to ComputerShare. I had to send them the TD Ameritrade, which kind of makes me, believe it even more that they don't want us to do this.
Is that what they told you? Like,
yeah, they won't. So I sent them to TD Ameritrade. It took 5 to 7 days, and then I had TD Ameritrade send them.
wow.
Yeah, ComputerShare. I was skeptical share, but I love it. Like you said, all the shares are DRS under my name. They're my shares. I get a letter in the mail saying they're my shares. I feel safer that way, because these other, like the Fidelity and TD and all these other apps, they're all just going to go off. And actually, when he was talking about ComputerShare and placing your orders, that's great. I love that. You could just place as many orders as you want. I placed like 300 orders at all different price ranges. 5% here, 2 shares here, 5 shares there, 4 shares there, 7 shares, 12 shares at all different prices. So I feel like when this is running and basically, Citadel and Virtue, they need the real shares. And when your shares are on all these other apps, they're not real until you send them to ComputerShare. So it's like you're protecting your investment in a sense. So they want the real shares. So where do you think they're going to come get the real shares from first? ComputerShare, because they're the real shares. So I feel like whoever's on computer shares, those orders, those are going to go out first when things are squeezing or MOAS. That's my personal belief.
Totally agree with you, man. First thing I'm doing tomorrow is I'm calling Robinhood to verify the whole. I believe you, but I want to post something about that, which I'm gonna do. Actually, I'm just gonna do it right now. That
I
does
wouldn't
not
be
surprise me at
surprised.
all.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if other companies didn't do it either, because this was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So Spence, I had a few, I like to call FU shares at Robinhood that I looked to transfer over, and I was told the exact same thing. And mind you, this was months ago too, so it sounds like they haven't changed. But I asked them why, and they got down to something about their way that they transfer shares. Like they're not part of like the fast system. They have like a cat system, or they had some other sort of transferring system, and because they aren't part of the system that they use, that's exactly right. You have to basically transfer them to another broker who does have the fast system to transfer
Oh,
to computer share.
yeah. Well, the GameStop report specifically announced the fact that Robinhood was not actually hooked up to a direct market or a direct exchange. So if they have to go through someone else or Citadel, whatever Citadel's exchanges or whatever's going on, that's crazy, man. That's just insane. And people still use Robinhood. People still use Robinhood. All right, I'm gonna try to get to you in the order that I thought you came up in. I got distracted and looked away, so I'm just gonna go in line. Ape, let's see, Ape Adam, what's up, man?
Hey, Spence, thanks for bringing me up, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to touch base on the whole DRS thing. I've had a DRS account 10 years. I get issued company stock,
Oh,
and I've gone on and sold my shares, no problem. Never had an issue. Got market value. Like, I don't know where that's all coming from. Maybe I just get lucky or something, but it's just like a basic platform.
Yeah.
I've never had a problem with that.
thanks for sharing that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like nobody really remembers the old brokerage. I'm a little older. I'm 36, so I was trading on the old style brokerages back in 2008. So I understand how computer share processes and the time and everything going on with it. And I've never felt more comfortable actually than I have with my shares sitting in computer share direct register. So
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I agree with the cost to borrow and everything too. Because the only thing that's really changed is that cost to borrow skyrocketing up, right?
Yep.
Nothing really else has been going on. So, no, I can agree with you more, man.
Thanks for coming up, man. Also, cost to borrow going up directly correlated with the time frame we've started really pushing and talking about this. So Benny Jr., what's up, man?
What's up, man?
How's it
Can you guys
going?
hear me? No, I was just saying I full on agree with the DRS thing shares, but like it is a little bit of a bee to fucking get the whole process started. It took me like 3 or 4 days, and then finally I purchased them. Then I watched the YouTube video, and I was like, and just to get the account started, and I I did leave some Robinhood shares just because I like want to hit them too. Like if this thing pops off, I want to basically get my money back and hit them.
Yeah.
So I think when I transfer it over, I think I'm going to record the conversations so I can hear them. Maybe I'll post it.
Oh,
And you know what I'm saying? Because that's going to be the next process. So I'm gonna move everything over. I don't trust none of the platforms because to me, between what you and Froggy and everything, and then the rules against actually saying for the CEO to say, hey, direct DRS in your shares and all that stuff, it almost seems like shorting and all this other stuff is like the perfect hustle. Like if what they're doing, it might be legal, but like they're able to purchase PFOF, our purchase for order flows, and push our shares down the dark market and only show like the short side. And to me, it just seems like the perfect hustle. And they're like, if they're able to work together and push everything down and only show what's there, to short these companies, and keep certain companies they want around, and they just short them far enough just to buy them for pennies on the dollar, and then short these other ones to basically pay for everything and just fill their pockets and push up things up and down in their favor. And it just, and for direct shares to like to be like the only way, it's almost like, why doesn't everybody just do this if they're long on anything? You know what I'm saying? Why would you want your shares worked against you at all?
Oh,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? But like, it just seems like the perfect hustle. And what if what they're doing is legal? And it's in a gray area. And if we start direct DRS in our shares, it does it show like how many shares are on direct share?
So you'll know what you DRS'd. Computer Share, when I called and asked them, she told me personally that she couldn't tell me how many shares were DRS'd, but the company knows, and they'll have it on their books every single meeting they have, right?
Right.
Which every shareholder is entitled to see during that meeting if you go. So when Adam Aaron sees, oh, hey, by the way, there's 450 million shares DRS'd by 1.2 million people, we have a problem.
That's what I'm saying. Like everything's a conspiracy until the DRS starts showing. So
yeah,
every quarter, I'm pretty sure the hedge funds are deep in it too, watching. When they start seeing the shares are being logged, they can just start itching out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
let's just say BR is one of the big institutions, right? And that's like their safe bag. So if they start seeing that we're logging it, they can slowly start pushing out the shares, and the makes the stock go up, but it can be a controlled squeeze. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like, because they're able to see it and they can slowly itch their way out of it. Like, it wouldn't be astronomical where it would kill them right off. And I mean, it's because just watching GameStop and all that, they ever since they started DRS and their shares, I'm starting to see like their stock go up and hold at a certain angle, and you know, as we started doing it, we're starting to go up too.
Yep. Well,
So
it's an ABC thing, man.
I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing the institutional side start to go down while our DRS shares are going up. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
And
why
if
cost. Go ahead.
That's the case, then my thesis would be right. I'm saying, and so everything that they short, all we have to do, any stock that they start shorting and moving against, all the people have to do is just start DRS in their shares to work against them.
Man, I just realized I didn't. Somehow this call isn't recorded today. I don't know why I clicked the button, but thankfully we got it on YouTube. So if anybody wants to revisit anything we talked about, I'll post the YouTube link. I don't know why this isn't recorded, but all right, let's Benny, thanks for coming up, man, and talking. It's always a pleasure to hear from you.
It's good to talk, man.
Yeah, let me hit some of these comments on YouTube real quick. I got Ant Card, Spence, have you studied GME DRS situation? Check if DRS provides positive impact on the price and solidarity of the investors. Yes, absolutely. I know exactly what's going on with the GME DRS situation. It's been very successful. The community is really bonded over it because they dispelled the FUD. So all DRS FUD, this is from Hayden J Real Estate. All DRS FUD came about when people were saying they could not sell their shares during the squeeze. This is not true. You can sell shares directly from your computer. Yeah, you can log in and place a sale order. Okay, who do we got? I don't know if people are dropping down, but I am not dropping anybody just in case you get kicked down. Just re-request.
Hey Spence, I wanted to add one more thing about the limit orders.
Yep.
So when you're on Computer Share and you're placing your orders, like I said, I placed probably like 300 orders at all different prices. For AMC, the most you can like put for a share of the top is 214,748.32
Yep.
And it's the same for GameStop. And GameStop, the entire order, each order, well, let's just say AMC is 1.9 million. So your orders can't exceed that 2 million, 1.9 million max. At first it was 1 million like 3 weeks ago. They had explained it to me. So all my orders, I put it in at under $1 million, you know, for each order. And I found out recently that they raised it. I guess it's 2 million or 1.9 million for AMC.
Yep.
GameStop, it's like 9.9 million per
Yeah,
order.
they specifically changed that due to the request of the GameStop crowd too. So that shows you that ComputerShare is willing to work with their customers, which is a lot better than what we're getting from our brokers, man. So
If you don't put in the right parameters on those orders, they'll probably be rejected or won't go through. You might think they went through, but they won't. So it'll be like a waste of an order.
yeah, make sure you definitely follow. I mean, you know, the chances of you going in to sell, I don't know, maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. I showed everybody a stock today on Froggy's call that went up to $925,000 back right before 9/11 happened. It was an old pharmaceutical company. So, you know, don't tell me it can't go that high. Not you, but you know, AMC could go to where it goes. So just when you place your order, make sure you place it within the value parameters. But thanks for that, man. I think Shillminator is next. What's going on?
Yeah. So I was in here, I don't know, probably a couple weeks ago, last time you were talking about it, and you'd mentioned to do something about like 10% of your whatever you hold into DRS, and I don't see why everybody's up in arms over all this. Like, this is a small percentage of what they could contribute, and just buy 10% of
Yeah.
of what you have back into DRS it, because I mean you can't be too much diversified. I mean, you could be in multiple brokers, especially if you have a fear of one shutting off the buy button. You want several options to be able to go through this if you think that's going to happen. You know, so what's the point of not at least putting something back? I mean, because I mean, I don't know how many people are in just one brokerage, but if you have 1,000 shares, 2,000 shares, whatever, because I think average is about 1,000 with the math that everybody's done. I mean, that's 100 shares right now. That's $1,300 at the current share price. To me, that's insurance, and I just don't see why everybody is just complaining all the time about it and just not getting it done.
Well, it's, you know, people do it. People can do what they want. And they make the choices they make based on the best information they have. And that's why we're trying to defud this, because there's been so much bad information put out. And what I'm trying to get everybody to realize is that recirculating everything you hear instantly without vetting it is why FUD gets spread around the community. And we need to get better at that, man. We just need to stop instantly spreading it to be the first one out there to get likes.
I think just from a diversification standpoint, though, I mean, you don't like, yeah, being in Fidelity is great, man, but you know, I'm not trying to just be in one broker. Like, I've got multiple ones, and you just add more options to be able to set yourself up for success with really not even giving yourself a problem. So
Yeah.
I think people should look at it in that aspect and not so much like, well, you know, the greedy side, like, well, I want those 100 shares and I want that $1 million. Well, that's great, but you need more options, and you know, you never know, that may be the saving grace down the road.
Yeah, what happens if they come out and shut all the brokers? Last week, TD Ameritrade shut down buy and call options on Redbox, man. I mean, they did it again. So it's just crazy. I don't know. No, thanks for coming up, man. Thanks for saying that. Appreciate you. Eric, what's up, man?
No problem.
Man, Spence, what's going on, buddy? I just want to say I appreciate everything you guys do with you, Tara, Froggy. I mean, just the whole community. For you guys to spend your time and do what you guys do is freaking amazing. So I'm actually kind of new to this DRS. I think I might have heard about this a while back. I've been with this community for about, a little bit over a year now. But I guess my question would be, and I know you can't speak for Adam Aaron or nothing like that, but would you think that he would do another audit? I mean, he said he did it 6 times. And I wonder if our shares are being to the DRS, would he do another audit? And would we be able to see if our shares were audited? Because at the end of the day, it's kind of questionable about, you know, we're like, okay, 6 times, but it's like, do we really know if it's 6 times? I'm just wondering what your thoughts on that, buddy.
I think he said 6 times because he's tired of seeing people ask for share counts, which are pointless.
Right.
They're totally pointless. When you if everybody DRS their shares and we log the float, That would force a reconciled share count that we did ourselves. We did it. It's logged. We have the numbers. That goes on a book and it goes directly to Adam Aaron every single earnings call and meeting. Or they can call and get the data right off the ball any day they want.
Oh, wow, man. I greatly appreciate the clarity on that, man. That
Yep.
just makes it even better and stuff. So, man, keep doing what you're doing, buddy. And I'm always following you guys. I mean, I really appreciate everything you do, man.
Thanks
a lot.
Eric. Appreciate you, buddy.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yes, sir.
what up, dude?
Hey, what up? I think Swing was first, so I'm gonna let Swing go.
Oh, he already talked once, so you can. What's going on with you?
No, not too much, man. I was just, hey, great, you know, take on not spreading too much bullshit too quick, because that has done a lot of people in this community.
Mhm.
It has done the community harm. Everyone that sits there and starts pumping out like what's good, what's bad, immediately addressing their opinion, and whether it hurts your feelings to take sides against them, having never vetted the issue, is exactly why we end up in these fucking little private fights with each other. It does no justice to the community. So thanks for saying that, and everyone in the room, do yourself a huge favor and relax the first time you hear some information before you let someone change your mind about it.
Absolutely, man. And thanks for your calls you guys have been hosting too. Hey, actually, I got to send you a DM later. We just had a speaker called S-Gal up in here who actually lives by Highcroft Mine and owns leases out around that area. So super interesting to talk to him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that. I love talking about the mine, dude.
Yeah.
People have like, people are like, "What are you talking about? Silver squeeze, gold squeeze?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude. Like that's where I'm dumping my time now." I'm thoroughly convinced AMC will be a successful company from a movie theater standpoint, and that Adam Aaron has his board rocking and rolling. I'm more interested in why we bought the silver mine and gold mine now. That is fascinating. What's going on in that world?
Yeah, I have a little side theory too going on that Adam Aaron and Sprott are using Highcroft to identify synthetics in Highcroft so they have probable cause to go and prove it in their own companies. Because since they're just an investor, then they're not going to be come at by the SEC for trying to squeeze out their own companies.
Dude, what if they're logging the float privately?
Yeah.
Jesus.
What if they lock up the Highcroft float or the Highcroft float gets locked up, the shorts that are still in there get squeezed, or they prove by trading volume that there's too many shares out on the market when the ones they have aren't being traded.
I mean, what if Adam and Sprott are literally, because I mean, dude, they're only $1 a share. For those guys, that's nothing. They could buy the company privately.
Yep. And I think that has something to do with the warrants probably coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah, Sprott sold some shares to exercise warrants, if I'm correct.
Because probably for legal definition of owning a certain majority or something, huh?
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, it was something like that. He could only exercise a certain amount of warrants.
Yeah.
If he had a certain amount of shares.
I'll DM him tomorrow. I'm sure he'll answer me. What's up, Swing? Swing's always got his hands full, man. Go ahead, buddy, if you're on there.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay. What I was going to say, as far as the diversification piece and kind of buy button, people being fearful of that again. One thing that's interesting from my research, the companies Future uses as broker are basically the primes. They're not using clearinghouses like Apex that shut off the buy button. They're going straight to like JP Morgan and Barclays and Citadel. And yes, that is used as FUD. They use Citadel, yes, because they handle about 50% of the volume of the entire stock market. So yes, that is one of their clearing brokers.
Yep.
But as far as the diversification goes, they're using companies that didn't turn off the buy button because they are actually prime brokers. They're the ones actually loaning out the shares and or are basically short their own book because they're because they have so many customers that own the stock that they're doing full. Oh yeah, I have a locate because we have so many customers. At least somebody here I can get the borrow from type of business. So you being able to sell during, if it ends up being a massive squeeze, I would argue chances are it's the safest way to sell. It's not going to be clearinghouse shutting off buy button because it's going to be directly to the prime broker.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know,
My
I just
little one,
go ahead.
I just said my little one agrees clearly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She sounds adorable, man. It's funny, or it's. I know everybody, man. Most of us in here got kids, brother. We know what's going on.
Very, very enthusiastic shareholder there.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, like, if you, like, say you guys did, or everybody or whoever decided they wanted to do DRS and did 10%, you guys have to also keep in mind, like, those shares, if they're being lit out 3, 4, 5, 6 times, you know, that's 50 million shares at 10% of the float. So if we think this thing's 4 to 10x the float, I mean, that's going to start squeezing them to have less ammo to keep fucking the price up. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not telling everybody to do anything. I'm just saying, like, that's the theory behind it, is like you're taking shit out of the pot so they can't keep replicating it infinity times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, here's something interesting too. I made a mistake on that website actually in the process of getting started. You do not have to click log into Investor Center to make your first purchase to get started with ComputerShare. In the drop down, like you go to ComputerShare on the main site, it says log into employee, log into investor, visit quick access hub. But right underneath that says make a stock purchase. So that's a one-click button directly to making your first stock purchase on ComputerShare, which will help you set up your account during the purchase process. So my process of getting to it just got shortened and easier. That's my fault. I should have looked a little harder before I said that. So if you're just starting out, you go to ComputerShare. If you want to do it, you go to computershare.com. And on the front page, if you've never purchased from them before, you click make a stock purchase. Then you find AMC. And once you bring AMC up and you click on it, it's going to take you to the page that explains the minimum required purchases, which is on the left. That's what they require you to buy minimum. And on the right is the fees you're going to pay, which is pretty minimal for placing a trade. It's just like how old brokers used to do it. You click invest now. You decide if you want to do recurring or one time. For the video, I'll do one time. I'm going to put in 50 bucks, hit next. And then it's going to take you into the process of entering your information to start your account. Once you get through that and done, you're going to immediately start getting text messages and emails. And it's going to explain what's going on to you, but it takes about 5 days for them to set up your account. Then they send you another email and they will give you a verification code, or they'll ask for login information. And if you do that and your verification doesn't work for some reason, don't panic. You'll get a note on the computer screen saying, hey, we're going to send you a letter directly so that we don't compromise your account. The letter is going to have a code on it. Once you get it, it takes about a week to get. Then you go back to log in and you put that code in and you can access your account. So very controlled process. Okay. Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, real quick, buddy. So the shares that we already have, they don't automatically get registered to the DRS. We have to do that.
No. Are you talking about shares you own in a broker?
Yes.
If you have shares with a broker, you have to request them to transfer them to DRS.
Awesome. Thanks for the clarity.
That takes your shares out of street name and puts them in book name under your name directly, which then gets transferred to AMC. And every earnings call, your name will be in the AMC shareholder book with the number of shares you own. So
man, that's awesome, man. These shorts going to get fucked.
Yeah, that's the, you know, it's all an individual process that you're choosing to make on your own. No collusion here. So
no, absolutely. I agree.
Yep.
They put the noose on their own neck.
Yeah,
exactly.
And you know, I'm not even doing this for the squeeze, man. I'm doing it because I know that we can prove that the market's fraudulent. And then we fix it for our kids, their kids, our grandkids, and everybody around the world, and this shit stops. And we've got...
It's crazy. It's crazy that we have to do it in the SEC, and they're not even doing shit about it, you know?
And how simple is this?
Right. Could have been done a long time ago.
Yep. And that's where the FUD comes from. The
Yep.
people who are working for the hedge funds or people who are using the community to grift and make money, they want it to keep going. So they spread FUD, and we keep sitting here being the good boys and girls that we are, making no progress. This is the single most simplest thing we can do to identify shares. And it's in terms, it's a reconciled share count. So, and if my theory is correct, every share that we do DRS, and this is theoretical,
Right.
we take 2 or 3 off the market. Oh, Tara, I'm sorry. I didn't see you requesting. Don't think I was
Cool,
ignoring
buddy.
you.
Thanks for your time, man.
Thanks, Eric.
All right. Yep.
I'm sorry, Tara. I did not see you. Are you there?
It's okay. Yeah, I'm here. I finally have like some reception where I'm at, but I'm driving. So you don't have to apologize. I just requested as soon as I got, somehow I was still in here, even though I was like completely in no service. So, but it like dropped me to listener. I don't even know, but I just wanted to come up and say thanks for doing this, Spence, and explaining all of this to people. And also just, I don't know if people saw the FTDs today were like over 2.6 million or something like that. And apparently you tweeted out about Highcroft having, what was it that Ortex was reporting on HYMC? The short interest is like over 100%.
That was corrected. Ortex actually messaged me back, so good on them. It looked like it said 116% short interest. And what happened? I'll pull up the tweet and read it directly so I don't misspeak. Let me find it real quick. But it wasn't actually the short interest at 116%, but it's still a good thing what they said. My computer slow today. Come on.
And then really quick, just about the Martin Shkreli guy, Enrique.
Oh
Is
yeah.
his name on Twitter. I just wanted to say, I guess I haven't been keeping up very well because I've been so out of like range. I can barely get anything to load. But I guess he went on Matt Coors today, and they're having like some kind of competition between each other of who can turn 50 grand into 100 grand faster trading or something. But which I think is kind of entertaining. But whether you're a fan or not, I don't know. But I wanted to just say that I thought it was interesting that a lot of, the GME elitist people, and nothing against GME. I love GME, but some of their, holders hate us who love AMC as well, which is fine. That's their prerogative. But they are pretty upset, I guess, with Martin Shkreli because I guess I didn't watch, like I said, I didn't watch the interview, but I guess he kind of knocked GME a little bit and then was all about AMC and pretty bullish. So
that sounds to me like he's trying to cause divide. This dude gets out of prison and comes out and goes after on show with Matt and then wants to talk about AMC and GME. I basically told him, I said, if you're going to say online that you're bullish AMC, then post your trade, man. Because if not, I'm not going to believe a word you say.
Yeah, he already said yesterday, he said yesterday that he's all, he's about himself and his family and making money. And I get it. Like, he's not here for any sort of community or whatever. And that's fine. At least he's honest and upfront. I mean, sort of like Marca has always been, I'm not an ape. I'm a lone wolf. I'm doing my own thing. That's why it's so unfortunate. I show anyone to buy a stock. They don't have to be a thing to do that. But when you get lumped in with them just because you have spoke with them or had a conversation or allowed them to come speak, it's a bit ridiculous. I guess people can't see the benefit in having someone who's known for being a short seller come on and say that they're long your play. It's kind of a big deal, especially when they have a lot of friends and whoever that, people who keep an eye on them who are also short sellers who are saying, wait, you're long on this? Okay, I'm going to look into it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess everyone, to each their own, everyone has a different opinion on it. But I think as a host, you have every right to allow whoever you want to come up and share their thoughts without being, attacked. I mean, it's just wild to me that people can't differentiate someone hosting a space, just because people have a certain sentiment or say certain things on your space doesn't mean you're in 100% agreement with them either.
Yeah. Okay. So the rule book now has been set by other people that when you're the host, you are fully responsible for everything said in your space. So going forward with my space calls, I've told everybody publicly, if you come up and you start trying to argue or you start trying to call people names, I'm just going to drop you a speaker immediately, and then don't take offense to it, but it's just not what the call's about from now on. So we can make everybody happy, you know? So
what about if they're rude or talking over people, and things like that? Like, what about, you know what I mean? Like, we're not here to play babysitter. We're not here to be mommy and daddy. You know what I mean? Like, we expect adults to carry themselves the way they should. And I mean, I think you handle your calls very well. Otherwise, I wouldn't even come. You know what I mean? Like, I have to avoid certain spaces because people will literally let people come up and cuss me out and call me names and like allow the fireworks to go just in order to get more people into the space.
Yep.
It's like, are you serious? Like, that is so disrespectful. So I have to be extremely picky about where I can even go because of that, you know? So I just appreciate the fact that you've always handled yourself, carried yourself well, and handled your space as well as a host and tried to remain neutral in situations like that rather than just piling it on and adding to the drama. Just get back to, you know, what we're focused on, which is the stock. And I think it's unfortunate. I know what's going on behind the scenes, and it's too bad that people can't, you know, see their own hypocrisy. But at the same time, I think you just have to keep moving forward and moving up. And that's what everyone wants to see. That's why your spaces tend to be the larger AMC spaces, because people want to talk about the stock. They want updates on the stock. They want to bring their friends to a place. So if say right now I'm with my family and I say, hey, you know, Aunt so-and-so, do you want to check out this space about AMC? It's a stock that I'm invested in. I think you'd be interested. You know, she just came into a lot of money, sold a house in LA, yada, yada. I would send her to yours, because if I sent her to others, number one, I'm afraid of some of the things they would say. If she had legitimate questions, I'm afraid that they're going to kick her out and say, you're a shill, you're asking too many questions, you know what I mean? Because she's so new and doesn't know anything about AMC or anything we've been fighting for. And believe it or not, as much as it feels like the whole world knows what's going on, they don't. Like, we are really in a little bubble here of people that know. Even a lot of shareholders, people of the 4 million shareholders of AMC, don't even understand like the fight that we are doing here on Twitter and in other places. So to expect everyone to kind of have like this knowledge built into them somehow, you guys, the media isn't reporting on it. You know what I mean? Like my Nana, she watches the news. Like, she gets her info from Jim Cramer. You think she's gonna get the right info from that guy?
Oh, no.
Hell no. So these spaces, for me personally, I have to be really particular about where I send people because of that, you know? So I think everyone kind of resorts to yours, Spence, because you keep it professional, you do a good job, and you know, you talk about the stock, and that's what we're all here for. So I just wanted to throw that out there and just say how much I appreciate that I can, you know, with confidence share out your space and know that there's not going to be some sort of bash fest, there's not going to be, you know, anything like that, and it's going to be positive talk about the stock and what we can do moving forward, ideas, and people allowed to come up and share their ideas and their opinions. And even if you don't agree, you're respectful about it and you say, okay, you know, thank you for sharing, moving on, right? But you can't always, these spaces are live, they're real time. You can't always, you know, you can't always decide what someone's intentions are. It takes actually listening to them to know, okay, now I know your intentions, you know, and grow from there. You can't just like, I don't know. It's difficult being in the host spot, and I know it firsthand. So I appreciate you, Spence. You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And that's just the thing, you know, Soka's out there hosting great spaces. Froggy's out there hosting great spaces. I would also recommend sending them to those. Soka hosted an insanely awesome Highcroft Mine Gold and Silver space the other day. And speaking of that, I have where did the tweet go? Oh, Ortex. There it is. I've got the tweet no, that's not it. Tweet we were talking about with Ortex. And it is right. There it is. I'll find it again. Hold on. But they did respond to me. They said, no, the short interest is not 116%.
Well, while you're finding it, I just want to remind people here also, AMC calls tend to be suppressed. So if you haven't done so and you can and you want to and you like the space, just remember to tweet it out if you can so other people see it on the feed. A lot of times they're not showing up at the top. So
Here's what
thank
they
you, guys.
said. This is incorrect. I asked them, I'm seeing Ortex is reporting 116% SI on Highcroft Mine. Is that true? They said this is incorrect. The only 116% that we are displaying on our HYMC short interest page is 116% increase in the total value of short positions over the past 7 days. So that got cleared up. And I'm glad that they messaged me almost instantly on it. So what's up, Swing? Barely.
Okay, here, just a second. I'll get re-situated here in a second.
I can't hear him at all. Can you hear him?
Just barely. He's fixing it.
It's that Bluetooth.
All right, now, yeah. Now you got me?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I think the easiest way in my mind to think about the way the current stock market structure is comparing it to what most people are aware of as fractional reserve banking. The idea is that, you go to your local branch and maybe that branch has $10 million in deposits. Well, that branch really only is holding maybe $1 million if it's $10 million in deposits. That's all they got. So if you were a major depositor and maybe you had $2 million there, you'd have to notify them weeks in advance for them to be able to have that money in your account ready to go. And they're able to get away with that because there aren't, in general, quote unquote, runs on banks. There isn't a run on banks every day where people go and all try to withdraw money all at the same time. Similarly, the stock market, I believe, is working the exact same way. These brokers are going out, taking your money, claiming that you have shares when really they're just basically rights to shares and they know that not everyone's going to go to sell or buy on the same day, so they can get away with kind of sharing the shares, given that they're in street name, with all sorts of people, and they're able to use those funds all the deposits that people give them to go about their way and short companies, go long on companies, and do whatever they want. The only correction for this is the DRS system, because that takes that away from them. They are no longer in street name, but rather than that, it's more like a safety deposit box. You have a safety deposit box with your shares on it in your name, and the only one that can access it is you. Yeah. So if you think about it in those terms, that is what the DRS system was. The whole reason for it was to kind of deal with the paper crisis of this. I think it was 1960s or maybe it's the 80s. I can't remember from the story, but either way, the story is the same. Where they used to take 3 days to clear, and stock market used to be closed on Fridays because they needed that day just to deal with the paperwork of the entire week. It was only a 4-day stock market because of that, because they needed 3 days over the weekend to figure out where all the paper was from everybody going left, right, and center. So, you have to think about it kind of in that way. And once you free your mind to think of it in that way, that really there is more than a 1-for-1 share ratio in the stock market, that it doesn't work the way that people think it is, where, there's only 513 million shares of AMC out there. No, that's officially what there is. That's how many have been issued by the company, but that doesn't stop, the 50 market makers that are out there from issuing shares synthetically through their derivatives options chain. So anyway, I appreciate you taking, thinking through this and getting on board and helping share the information so people really understand the way the system. And really the only correction to this is probably a blockchain future blockchain type system where there can be digital one-for-one record keeping of all the shares that's on a separate, auditable blockchain versus having all these brokers have their own sets of books that they're all keeping, and they all know that each other are doing it, and the DTCC knows that all their members are doing it, because who runs the DTCC? All the member banks.
Exactly.
So,
Couldn't have said it better, man. And I want to thank you personally for helping educate me on this topic. I think you're the subject matter expert in the group on it for sure. Who just came up? Bobby? Bobby, what's up, man?
Actually, it was Sugar Kush before me, man.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead, brother.
Don't worry
I
about
spoke
Sugar
before.
Kush. He talked too much anyways.
I appreciate you. Question is, for the apes who don't have a computer and only use their phone trade, does computer sure have a app that you can download to make that happen?
I don't think they have an app, but you can still access it through a normal web function on your phone. Or you can call them.
Oh, okay, cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I want to read one thing real quick from what's the article from? Who's the author here? Tremendous came out in the news today, talking again what Tara said about the AMC fails to deliver past 2.6 million as of June 3rd. The June FTD data came out for the first half, and there's a lot of failure to delivers on there again. And just to say, Adam Aaron specifically said, we're going to the NYSE to talk to them about what's going on with these FTDs, right? And he said, we're going to do it again. Right after he said, there's certain things I can't say and do, but he said, this is one they can. FTDs are high FTDs are almost a sure sign of naked shorting. That was very much clear. You can Google that and read it anywhere. So I'm going to take Shilminator and then Sugar, and then that's going to be it for speakers. Ahsoka, were you trying to say something earlier, man? I'm sorry.
No, man, I don't know what I was trying to say. I think we were talking about the mine, and I was on something about we're going to have to talk about the space with the mine later. I had a bunch of stuff that I wanted to run by you about the silver squeeze that I was looking up. So
okay,
I don't know where I was going. So
well, let me know if you host another call on Highcroft, man. I'm going to pop in for sure.
Absolutely.
What's up, Shilminator?
All I was going to say is just to remind everybody that nobody's on your team harder than you are. You just need to make sure you're protecting yourself. And with all the corruption that we see going on, and I'm not really going to go into that, like, you just have to give yourself more opportunities for success. So just keep being vigilant, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming up, and everybody today for coming up, being respectful, having good questions and intelligent things to say. And this is going to be a good call for people to go back to on YouTube and see what's really happening. So couldn't do it without all of you. All right, Sugar, you close us out, buddy. All positive. I want to go to bed happy tonight.
Okay. See, I lost my focus few months ago when I got sucked by the space calls. Those were bashing people and drama and all that. And I lost my focus. I didn't make a single dollar in those 3-4 months. And I started thinking to myself, like, what did I came here for, man? I came here to make money and make my time useful. Why am I spending so many hours just listening to he said, she said, bashing? Why am I why am I any better than these people, those who are doing bashing? I'm listening to them, I'm giving them my time, I'm just as worst. So what Tara just said, there are two types of people in our community. One, those who are just here to gossip 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, bashing people, giving a title, AMC bash, this, that person. If you are here just for that, go be it. Spend your 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever you want to waste, enjoy it. If you are here to make money, make your life useful and take care of your families, listen to the calls, those who really make sense, those who educate you, those who are not echo chambers. Whether it's you, whether it's Froggy, whether it's Soika, whether it's Lions, then give your time and energy to people who value you and who you can value. That being said, I love all of you, Spence, Tara, all of you guys. And, let's keep on focus. This is an amazing call. And I just hope, we keep it like that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There's a lot of good calls out there. My push going forward is I'm doing nothing but talking about the stock in such circumstances that can benefit everybody and educate and move forward and educate myself and try to protect my investment from this insane market corruption. And I'm going to do everything I can to make it better. And if from now on, I'm taking the power in my space calls to drop and dump anybody and anything, and I'm not going to look back. And if your feelings are hurt, I'm sorry, and we're just moving on. I seen April came up. I don't know if this space is automatically dropping people, but it's not me, April. If you got dropped, it wasn't me.
Hey, Spence, I have one more thing to share, as always, if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a reminder, we got the long 4th of July weekend this weekend. Be safe.
Bring me up. I was moving around in my house.
Oh.
I apologize. I accidentally hit the speaker thing and was like, oh shit, I didn't
Oh.
know.
No worries.
So
No worries.
Thank you though.
Yeah. Go ahead, Swain.
Oh, yeah, I just want to say 4th of July. So, be safe, end up with all your limbs. Don't do anything silly that way. But also, one of the safest things you can do is take your family to AMC and go enjoy a movie. I believe I heard rumors that a lot of the IMAXs might be showing Top Gun again.
Ooh.
Great movie to see celebrate the 4th of July weekend. Obviously, there's still Jurassic Park if you haven't seen that. There's the new Elvis movie. There's the new Minions movie for those with families. So go think about let's make this 4th of July weekend be one of the best weekends of the summer as far as the box office, and support our company. Go buy a Minions bucket of popcorn, do all those things and help the bottom line, because that's, we know that gross revenues is one of the biggest killers to the short thesis. So
Absolutely.
don't forget that.
And Swing, thanks for coming in so gradually and just flipping straight pure shill for the movies, man. That was beautiful how you did that. And I'm taking all 5 of my neighbors to go see Thor: Love and Thunder on the 8th. I can't wait to get my popcorn hammer, man. It's going to be added to my AMC shrine in the background. So I have to close the call down. My battery is almost dead and my phone stand is broke, so I can't charge it while I'm talking. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Great call, great information. Please share the links we did up top. They're on my Twitter feed with Super Stonks and the Computer Share AMA. And if anybody has any questions, please DM me. Again, everybody, thank you. Thank you so much. And today is the last day of AMC Q2 reporting period. So we should have a really, really big, awesome earnings call at the first part of August around the 8th. And I hope everybody can be there. And we're going to make it a big one, man. Adam Aaron's going to come out with some fire on this one. I know it. So everybody, you have a good weekend and good luck tomorrow on the last trading day of the week.
Happy 4th, America. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Catch y'all later. All right, everybody on YouTube, thank you for coming. Let me check these comments real quick. Man, my phone stand broke because my dog knocked it over the other day, so I got to fix it. I can't see comments and everything at the same time. Appreciate Vanilla Gorilla being in there. Hayden J. Real Estate, as always. Greg Lanzillo, thanks for coming in. Ant Card, everybody, thank you very much. Thanks for the subs today. The channel's growing. It will always be free. I'm never going to charge a dime for it while I'm doing this. I just don't feel it's necessary. I make enough money on my trades. So appreciate you all coming in. I hope you found the content useful. Please like and subscribe to help the channel grow and push it out forward. And if you want any of this information, it is all on my Twitter feed. You can go back and listen to the call and not the YouTube video if it's easier for you. Anyways, you guys have a good weekend. Go to the movies. Froggy's